marksman. But what this affords for Falcon Esports, the pride of the Burmese, is a very comfortable yet unorthodox lineup. It's very Myanmar. It's very 1-3-1. It's the first time I've seen this in a while.
Yeah, no, honestly, even Malaysia, Indonesia, everybody has got a little bit of a taste of this Ruby gold lane. And generally, you're just trying to smother your opponent, right? As long as you clear these waves faster, I don't think Lung can win out these trades against the Ruby as long as they are minions.
And Falcon Esports, what they want to do is play the Predator. They got to be aggressive with a capital A. Looking at the loadouts here, Warcry on Dax's Roger, which I expect to be ahead of Zed's Fredrin. Again, a big head scratcher why the Fredrin came in so early, but then again, we reckon it might be down to comfort.
Yeah, I think it does come down to comfort, and I think, you know, they still need a brick wall at the end of the day, right? Having two brick walls with Godyang on this Edith as well as the Fredrin isn't a bad idea. I think the main issue right now is how does XYG start getting a lead? Because once they start getting ahead and invade the enemy jungle, I think Dax is going to have a much harder time to scale to a relevant state.
Which is made possible by Zed and Godyang's rotation. Again, even through the first wave of buffs, that's what they've been doing. Usually you see a roamer go with a gold laner, but then again, this Long we're talking about, you have to go with the less than favorable matchup. KelVJ getting a few beads on him by Dax. Godyang very close. Watching out. Something to note, KelVJ, this is specialty Yuzhong as well. We've seen him do well with this hero all throughout their season while they were playing in the China qualifiers.
I mean, right now, they're trying to bait out emotion from the side of Falcon Esports, right? I think Dax has wasted way too much time up on the top side of the map, and in the meantime, on the bottom side, Zed, he's able to get like 2 camps up on him.
And now he's making the long rotation. That's Godyang still checking in, trying to hit level 4. Dax with the pull on the turtle. Not going to commit just yet. Level 4 yet to be reached by our XP laner. Zed now wailing away.
Yep, this should be a free turtle for the side of XYG. I don't think they're going to contest it at all. And Black Dragon form just to find absolutely nothing here. This is definitely a set play from XYG's side. They're not going to find anything, but still a free neutral is a free neutral.
And what this does for XYG is put them up about 500 gold. When are we going to see the rubber band effect from Falcon Esports? Because again, if you guys caught the Stream B broadcast of C9 versus Falcon Esports in our opening day, I think they played a very similar tempo. We're just waiting for when. It's not if they could, but when they will, especially since they want to smother XYG. When are we going to see that, Gideon? When do you think that'll come in? Are we waiting for second turtle, third turtle, maybe even when a Lord comes up?
Okay, personally for me, I think that if the momentum, as of right now, there's slight momentum for the side of XYG. If that momentum continues and starts to like 2x itself, second and third turtle might be tough. If you go for the stereotypical way of how Falcons Esports usually contest, I would say second turtle, there'll be a bit of recon that needs to be done. And then afterwards, I'm expecting the 12th minute for them to really start to pop off.
Man, sounds like a slow takeoff. They got to work on that, maybe spread their wings a little further, because that's what this lineup is made up for. They're made to be aggressive, and now that we see that they've all reached level 4, we know that there's a Bloom, we know that Royal Milk might have his first item, and I think that's one of the weaknesses that this lineup has, since we are seeing Benny on a gold lane Ruby. Usually Benny is your late game finisher. He's your insurance policy, as we like to call. But now that he's more of a fighter, I don't know if that's going to happen here. XYG looking to capitalize on this early advantage. 4-man rotation down bottom. Kid X sandwiched. Benny just doing his darndest to get some farm in.
Yeah, I think at this point, XYG are doing a really good job. I mean, Kid X, he's got flickers, so don't worry. As long as he gets out of the energy interruption, he's totally fine. But just the rotations, right? They're trying to make sure that Dax is on his toes when it comes down to these camp timers. Previously, he ran down to the bottom side to pick up that orange buff. And Zed, he had already rotated to steal 1 camp, so he already had a rough idea of what that timer was going to be.
Grand Theft Orange. Falcon Esports looking like a wet blanket. That's what their lineup is. Again, they're meant to smother. All this while, Xianyou Gaming is a brick house.
Yeah.
Running through you, going from objective to objective. Now they're going for their second turtle. And again, it looks like Dax He's a baby werewolf, like he can't really do much. Here comes KLVJ.
It's just not worth it. I think KLVJ can actually go really push the tempo, but I think XYG, as of right now, we're going to take the free neutral. No need to actually put ourselves at risk at this point of time, because if we're talking about leads, Zed already has the lead onto Dax, a full level ahead. KLVJ is doing a pretty good job against Royal Milk so far, but most importantly, Lung is starting to get ahead of Benny. He's 2 levels up on him.
That's right, the international marksman building it up, mewing to Lux Max very soon. I wonder what the items are. Here we go, let's check in. 500 gold, between Zed and Dax. Now a fight down bottom, okay. We can breathe easy. Yeah, an item on Long here. First up, Corrosion Scythe.
Yep, he just wants to peel back, right? He knows that it's going to be really difficult to kill Benny at the end of the day. And I have to agree with him. It's just not worth the time and effort. You might as well play to scale anyways, because your comp is going to be stronger towards the later sections. But even for Falcon Esports, we're not finding these like lane advantages that they can exploit.
Fight up.
Kid X, he's going to get hit by the energy eruption here. They should be able to walk out for free, but PX7 might have something to say about this. But so far, Falcon Esports, I was expecting PX7 to be the main driving force here, but it looks like E1, with the help of Godyoung, is making sure that he's stuck in this lane. Look at that. Every single time, 3, 4 people show up to just clear one wave.
I get it, because again, Falcon Esports, yes, I agree. PXM should be that initiator, the catalyst to their aggression, but he just has but one lifeline, Gideon. He just has the Purify going up against XYG, who has killed VJ for CC. Even Yi1 has CC. Long has CC. God, yeah. They all have CC.
I mean, they got to unlock somebody out of their lanes right now, because I think they're playing too independently of each other. Like, at least for Kid X, his job is the easiest. Just sit back, don't die, relax, get ready to press your ult when it's necessary. You'll eventually scale to the later stages of the game.
But you also have to consider, here we go, the pull. Godyoung at half health. Okay, that's a non-starter.
Okay, I mean, they didn't even get a battle spell, which is kind of unfortunate, but hey, wait a minute. PX7 is getting chunked out in the middle of the turret. Had to use his Purify anyways, and finally a lead for XYGs to get into the mix with Royal Milk taking a brunt of that damage. Now even Godyoung coming up with the ult as well. KLVJ finally getting into the mix. Doesn't really get anything off of this. Great vengeance coming in from Royal Milk to stay alive.
Looks like a lot of cardio. Not much action, really. They were jogging in place. Half health on a majority of XYG. First turtle looking great for Falcon. There's the pull.
He's already found it. Zed, he's in trouble. Doesn't even get the ult off in time. First blood achieved as Lung finally takes the trade onto Bax, but Benny is still too strong in the earlier stages of the game. Able to deal with Lung by himself. As long as there's members, there is plenty of options to sustain. Does he find the kill onto Lung? We cut away, but no. Lung's still alive at 1 HP.
Oh, Kid X looking to get sneaky. I wonder if he knows the flicker in, the stun, and the basic. He does get in. He does.
He's aware. He's aware. And he's even going to help Royal Milk dive KLVJ underneath the turret with a mid-tier 1 in the pocket as well. Falcon Esports cracked this game wide open.
Swooping down, the Burmese bite back. We were looking for it. We were waiting for it. 8 minutes. That's when it snaps. The final turtle seems to be the final straw. I bet all the Burmese watching are like, come on, they're sweating. Like, when? Your roster, your lineup is made to be aggressive. And now down bottom.
They're going to look for this tier 1, right? I mean, that's the speed up we expect from Falcon. I was saying 12 minutes because I was expecting Xianyou Gaming to really take their time with this, right? They could have slowed down that fight, but I think, they got over eager once Lung got into the mix, knowing that he's like a full level ahead of Benny. Now that it's equal, Royal Milk now in some trouble. That Vengeance finally going to time out. Looks like PX7 unable to bail him out of there just then.
Yep, I'd say PX7 was maybe 3 seconds worth of distance away, so it wasn't going to happen regardless. Looking at the item game here, PX7 up by about 1,000 away from Yi1. Also a huge gap between KLVJ and Royal Milk, despite Royal Milk going down as well. A lot of pundits, a lot of critics of Falcon Esports will say Royal Milk is the weak link. Royal Milk is the Achilles heel of Falcon Esports, but now he seems to be one of the anchors. He seems to have taken the time to really say, hey guys, I'm over here. The rest of my team are farming in the other lanes. Come on over, come on over.
I mean, he's an instigator, don't get me wrong, right? I think that, if we're talking about the big hitters, it's definitely PX7 on this farmers. He definitely has heroes that he really shines on, right? If there is bronze, silver, and gold, he's platinum, man. He's above it all.
He's platinum Faramis.
He's platinum Faramis. It's disgusting. But that's only because Royal Milk is able to kind of initiate and absorb that damage.
Exactly. Those are the words from ST14, and Edwards said very low.
He's so low. He's going to get hit by the Lightning Pass. Even the Retribution saved by the Eternal Guard to get on out of there as they peel backwards to try and make something happen. But a great pull. I'm offended. But wait, hold on. They're turning it around. Long is able to find the pin 2 times and even gets PX7. It's a 4-for-nothing trade in favor of XYG.
There's only so much a lone Florin can do. She can heal you. She can get heals in without any detriments, but no, not with the amount of damage that Long has put out, as well as the counter CC, the initiation by KLVJ, and the rest of XYG. Look at that. Oh, also an aggressive flicker in. XYG, they're aware, they know of the dynamics. Who's the beatdown?
Exactly, right? Their target priority is pretty good, but also at the same time, Long had a great eye for opportunity. He found the initial knockback. Actually, it happened twice in that fight. The initial knockback happened here in this part of the map, right in the middle.
And then as they, rolled back a bit and then pushed forward again.
They're stretching them like dough.
Amazing. The back and forth really rocked Falcon Esports there, and that led to XYG being up by about 2,000. And the international marksman doing work, clearing up that top lane. Now, the tier 2 in mid in jeopardy as well. How do they defend? Falcon Esports is the first time they've actually been on the back foot. I mean, the early game is one thing, but now XYG's knocking down your base.
Well, let's see here whether they lose an inhibitor. Benny's going to get hit by the Eternal Guard, but he's fine. He can sustain through all of the damage as long as there are waves. Unfortunately for XYG, they don't have a clear way to initiate without their battle spells, and it doesn't help that their sieging isn't that great without the Black Dragon form.
Yep, 2 minutes until the next turtle comes up. 2,500 gold ahead. Chinese squad are over the Burmese. Look at the damage that Long is putting down. This is dangerous what he's doing. There's a knock-up.
He's confident. He wants to get more into the mix, but he's kind of slowed down thanks to Royal Milk. Regardless, they still get all the tier 2 turrets from Falcon Esports, and this is what we were expecting from XYG. When they find the opportunity, they're going to start from your tier 1s all the way to your inhibitors.
They are thorough. They are procedural, and maybe they can work on their precision, but hey, if you're playing with a sledgehammer lineup like this, a comp that just relies on Long, I mean, almost single-handedly Long, and then maybe a little bit of a E1 on the step back, then yeah, definitely. There's a lot that Falcon Esports need to work on here. I wonder now how they can fight outside the base, because again, the under turret punish is good on Benny, right? It's perfect.
Yep.
But when they meet up here in these little, let's check. All right, when they meet up in these little alleyways, these little corridors outside their base, do they have enough firepower? Can they close the gap here?
I think, all right, so their firepower is very conditional, right? Their firepower is if they can get XYG to clump up really close together so they get the multiplier.
With the bursters.
With the bursters, right, from PX7. I mean, that's not all. Obviously, it's going to be very helpful for, like, Benny, of course. And, well, Royal Milk can definitely slow 2 people down. Oh, the I'm offended comes through, but look, he's going to get hit by the initial snare. They pull away, and look, tries his best. Oh, Spirit Destruction onto Dax's side. He might be able to win this 1v1, even with the heal coming in from Florin. It might just be too much. He's out of position, tries to regroup with the rest of his team, but it's too late. The Netherrealm is not going to let him find it. KLVJ trying to turn it around as E1 is out of position, forced to walk back into the Y brush. God Yang can really take his time. Benny is sustaining through so much pain, and even for VX7, he's just waiting to slowly encroach upon their positions. It's now they're all running away. There's nothing that they can do as they get picked off one by one.
The slow march by Falcon Esports allowed for 2 I'm offendeds. 2 I'm offendeds to go off cooldown and can continue the assault. 8-6 now. Another swing of the pendulum towards the Burmese. Now up by 1,000. They're looking for a penetration. I think they're going to get it.
Yeah, they're going to get this. Dude, hey, hello? Why are we not taking out free inhibitors here as the Eternal Guard comes down, forcing the rest of FCON to start taking away tier 2s? No.
SOD.
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't. There's
He's
a retribution.
already, there's retribution, and also the last time he tried to 1v1, it didn't go well because of Kid X.
All right, good rewind. Let's go back maybe 20, 30 seconds. A nanosecond of hesitation of speculation on Long. I'm not so sure if Moskov mains will question me on this when I say maybe Long could have leaned hard on that engage. Maybe that would have won him the fight against Dax and would have killed Dax even before this all went down.
I don't think so. I think that the heal coming in from Kid X was just a little too big, right? I think if you take out the heal, 100% he kills him there, right? I think the only other advantage he could find is if he decided to switch out that Purify for maybe an Inspire.
Maybe it would have ended the fight almost single-handedly. But that would make him more vulnerable. Now, the Lord jumping in, crashing through the top inhibitor. A big, I'm offended!
Finds to the Eternal Guard, and then straight away into the Netherrealm to try and peel some time. With the Lord already knocking at their base, they should be able to get one more inhibitor before they try and close things out. But that's a lot of resources and a dead jungler and a knockback of a lifetime! Long! This is why he's the international marksman, turns it around single-handedly.
God Yang with a God mode, Earth Shatter, and they equalize. XYG, almost a single finger. SOD to the back!
He wants to go for more. He's already locked down, but it looks like he bit off more than he could chew. That's going to be a 2-for-2 trade at the very end of it. But man, I'm telling you, this fleeting time on Kid X, the heals with his ult, and VJ, hello? He's going to make it out. He's not going to make it out of this.
He's not going to make it out of this.
No, not when CC gets the ult back up. Zed is already here to start peeling him off. Eternal Guard actually towards PX7's side, forcing the Netherrealm to come on out. Target acquisition looking a little disorientated from XYG.
I get it. It's sensory overload. Falcon Esports are doing so much on so many different fronts. The Lord, that push in mid, up top, a fight on many different angles coming in, especially now that the lead is the biggest it's ever been. A quick look once more on the attempted clapback. They don't even get PX7, because again, they didn't know that the cooldown off of the Netherrealm would have been done by then. And now, 5K, approaching 5K. Falcon Esports is, after a punish in mid, they win a fight down bottom. I think Falcon Esports are approaching their power spike right now. This is wherein, even if God Yang gets a good CC on 2 or 3, Falcon Esports, their right-click potential, their auto attacks are just going to get so much better from now on.
I mean, they're going to have a lot of value in this, right? That's why Falcon Esports have to be very precise, right? They got drop pod in at the right time and catch as many of the right people. And ideally, that would be Lung +1. And that could be anybody, really. And I think that if they're going to find Lung, he's going to have to make a mistake, because I think that XYG can really take their time with a lot of these plays. But maybe the decision-making when it comes to those moment-to-moment, like even the replay we saw earlier, right? There was a good opportunity for Zed to actually lock down PX7 to guarantee the kill.
But then again, PX7 is sitting clean and pretty on the Purify. So I think that's something that Xianyou Gaming have to think about when they make these big engages. They sense it, they hear it. The Lord is being worked on, approaching a third of its health. Zed up in the front lines, Long keeping his distance.
I mean, they gotta walk up here, right? I mean, the waves may not necessarily be in their favor, but I think for Falcon Esports, they can really just let it go back and forth. They got to reset it fully, though.
Not a good look. Not for XYG. Here we go. I'm offended.
He comes on forward, pulls Zed backwards, hit by the Earth Shatter, onwards as well, locked 2, and now the backline. Royal Milk has already found Zed, but with the Vengeance, he's able to tank a little bit longer than he should. It's the help of the Netherrealm. They're falling into this choke point mistake once more. They've learned it, but the damage has been done.
And now it's back to regular programming as Falcon Esports going to go for this Lord unhindered, unbothered. Yi1 in the back, Lung as well. Their retribution by Dax.
We're seeing the difference here. Lung is going to try and 1v4 this, but I mean, look at that. PX7 single-handedly just blowing them up. Godyang does find the trade backwards on towards it, but man, they gotta be super. No, Dax, he's in some trouble. Kid X might have to sacrifice his life in favor for Dax, but he's gonna stay nearby, get the heals down, try to turn it around, get him low enough, look for the opportunity, and Dax finds it. Netherrealm to ensure that this Primal Wrath is worthless. Godyang should be going down, and now with a exposed crystal, FCON looking to close things out.
They smell the blood in the water as they go in. Zed at half health. The Black Dagger from my kill, BJ.
It's done. It's over. They've cracked open the crystal. These fights, they need to be decisive. And it's not even about the macro decision making. It's about target acquisition.
I agree, Gideon. I agree more than ever. I'd say of the dozens of games we played in the group stage, this might be one of the most micro-specific matchups we've seen.
I totally agree with you. I think that XYG, they definitely have the micro, but they gotta calm with each other how they're going to do it rather than just feel it.
Close calls on many different fronts, moments wherein they should have made the call and maybe they shouldn't have made the call. I wonder what our analysts think about this, because there's a lot to break down here. It was a medium-sized match, but I'm sure there are plenty of pain points that they should be talking about. LaFell, Nice and Wolf, hey, tell us what you think.
Well, what we think is that you guys are correct. This game is really about the mechanics. Like, we're looking at the highlights here. A lot of time we see Benny actually catching out of Fredrid, causing the match to go to their side, but can I just say, like, every single time I watch the play, I'm like, no!
I know.
No! Like,
I think that was all of us, man.
no, why? It's like he's his worst enemy.
But then again, you have to give credit to FCon.
Yeah.
3 comeback games so far. Are they the new comeback kings?
Is it really a comeback when they plan for it?
Well,
Hey, the lineup that they had, this, you know, we talked about like extending team fights because of the Nether Realm plus the heals from the Florin. This was the perfect picture of that idea.
and you know, I will indulge in what you just said, Mr. LaFell. Is this part of the FCon plan all along? Well, one thing that I can say is that their composition is very dependent on the late game, right? So it looks like it is good in the early game because you have the Ruby as well as the Faramis, but this is a Ruby in the gold lane, which kind of needs farm. You have the CC also farm dependent, and Florin just is weak in the first 2 turtles of the game.
Let me just say, this draft is nothing new for Falcon, because in the Snapdragon Pro Series, Royal Milk, whenever it's up, he will go for the CC.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what other S-tier picks is available, he'll go for the CC. PX7 on this Faramis is almost an auto win. So I kind of feel like for XYG, they gotta look at the draft, because look, to his credit, Lung dealt the most damage. He did a lot.
But I will say he did a lot, but sometimes he was too forward. Too forward and a little bit too trigger happy on the Spirit Destruction, man, because I think every single time we saw that fly, we're like, don't do it, right? And then the healing comes through.
Oh, yeah. What if his teammate's like, please don't hit it? I hope the Spear misses. Like, okay, let's you guys are the analysts. Talk us through this. Why did the Moskov go through with the Spirit Destruction, but why did he lose those trades?
It's mainly because of the Florin, actually. At this point, I think if you think about the itemization coming out from the Florin, once the flask is up, which normally happens if you're quick enough, 5 minutes maybe, but typically around the 8-minute mark. That's like the safest route, which kind of falls on the first Lord. But then again, you're still very weak because you kind of need one more item so that the heals will be actually potent. Now, come the 13-minute mark, the second Lord, that is where the Florin is a threat.
Yeah, I think that once that Flask of the Oasis comes up, like Wolf mentioned, it just got too much because typically it's just a Florin, but then the Nether Realm on top of it.
That's right.
So it allows even more of that extension, more of that sustainability to play a part in these fights. And when you're looking at a lot of these kind of breakout, even though they had damage, they just didn't have enough to overload. And there were some good moments there, some good setup potential like we talked about. They had a ton of crowd control available to them. A godlike set from Godyang back in the base. I know the casters mentioned this, but that's the thing. Even with that, they just didn't have enough firepower to get through all that.
Oh. Unfortunately, that is going to be the case. And unless, of course, they kind of dialed in on just literally one hero. That is going to be possible. But then, unfortunately, for the Moskov, it's not much of a burst hero. Maybe if you get the right combo, it can deal a lot of damage, but it's not like burst, you know? Which means that sustain normally is the counter to the Moskov, right? The sustain when it comes to like big heals, because that means that your initial spree of big attack speed is not is totally going to be nullified.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like, I mean, looking at this, Royal Milk, he looks pretty chill with all things considered. Actually, the entire team of Falcon, it shows that this is a good win, but at the same time, they don't want to overextend, right? They don't want to be too excited because this is a best of 2. And we got to talk about this. If they win this one against XYG, doesn't this mean that they're automatically qualified to the knockout stage? right? They already have a 2-0 against C9.
Yeah, they would have 4-0, right?
They will for all. I think they're automatically qualified unless there is that crazy 3.
Of course.
But then again, if they win a big, well, technically they don't win fast, so they might not get the better end of the
tiebreaker.
Of the tiebreakers.
Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, yeah, they're 70% into the knockout stages if they do win a 2-0.
That's big.
You know what? Here's the thing, Wolf. I feel like a lot went down in that game. So
yeah,
this is a special segment for Wolf. Let's actually check out the talent rate to show us what happened in the game.
Well, you were wondering why Mr. Long was very confident in many cases. This was one of the first few stumbles. And maybe you're not seeing this enough. I'm going to kind of zoom in on this part. You can see. Whoa. So that is the wind of nature. Actually, first pick by Long. That is why he felt very confident. So if you play this out, now he... To be fair, he lands great Spheres of Destruction. He's going to hit it this time against Nax, and you're going to see it right there. He's trying to kind of duel, but then the bloom comes up, and now you don't have your attack speed boost anymore. You're kind of controlled by the curtain call that actually was landed by Royal Mix. So even when that was a single hero curtain call, it was still potent enough that you kind of lock Long in place. And the thing with Moscow is that you have to be locked in place. Now, this is where the problem starts for XYG. They don't have the damage dealer anymore. Royal Milk is just outplaying them up top. As you can see, they're just baiting everyone. Like, everybody's just very low from the side of FCON, but they're not dying. And now the sustain comes through. Kid X is going to be landing all of those heals greatly, and then Royal Milk is just, you know, he's just fighting against everyone and surviving all time. At this point, no more spells, no more skills, no more firepower for XYG. It's checkmate. The kiting coming out from FCON is just phenomenal.
The thing that surprised me was in one frame of your teleprompter, telestrator, we saw like 2 curtain calls.
Yeah.
True. Right, one on the Moscow and then one on the Edith as well as the Frederick. Like that's how prolonged the fight was when you're able to use your ult twice.
Yeah.
Hey, we said this in the draft. Like, we knew this was gonna happen, you know, and that's playing the lineup to the T. They knew the game plan. They brought it out especially when you have an aggressive decision from the opposing team here from XYG. You guys know if we just make it through this initial burst, we're fine because we can actually turn the table and then just run it down.
Honestly, with that, we got to look at our Sony match MVP. Well, Sony MVP of the game is going to be Kid X, and Kid X, as to what you guys are talking about, is the reason why they don't get bursted down.
Yeah, it was struggle. By the way, Kid X is gonna have a great time in the area. 7 minutes in, he's gonna get a kill on Too Long, and then that really just ramps up and, you know, speeds up the process for the Florin. And to be fair, after dying twice, actually he never died actually.
Yeah.
Kid X never died. So after the early stages of the game, he was untagged.
Wow.
15 KDA, 100% kill participation. Talk about the Florin.
On a Florin.
On a Florin.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I've never seen a scarier Florin in my life.
Yep.
Look at the Florin. You'll be thinking like she's harmless, but like, dude.
15%. None of those tempo rain Florin shenanigans going in for the focusing mark.
Hey,
that's actually good. But you saw there was a clash in the middle where they were able to just literally one-shot Long with just one Lycan pounce coming out from
that's
from
a lot
Dax.
of damage.
That is a lot of damage coming out from the items.
I know what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say?
War cry and focusing mark.
Exactly.
Boom. Boom. Big percentage.
Big damn, as this guy would say.
Big damn. And with that being said, we have a special interview with Falcons. So before we go to the next match, let's check it out.
Hello, I am Riyadh from Falcon Esports and I play EHP. ကျွန်တော်တို့အနေနဲ့ဒီတပ်ပါတီပွဲတွေမှာအကောင်းဆုံး train နဲ့ train ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ official ပွဲကိုနိုင်အောင်ကြိုးစားခဲ့ပါအားစိတ်ရောက်လာတဲ့အချိန်မှာကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီပြောမယ် game ကိုနီးစနစ်ကြကြပို့ပြီးဆော့လာနိုင်တယ်ပြီးတော့ဒီအပြင်ပိုင်းတွေမှာလည်းစီကံပိုင်းတွေပို့ပြီးတော့တိုးတက်လာကျွန်တော်တို့အခက်အခဲဆုံးတင်ရတော့ Falcon AP brand ပေါ့ဘယ်မှာဘာလို့လဲဆိုရင်ဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ AP brand ကိုနိုင်သွားရင်လည်းကျွန်တော်တို့အနေနဲ့အများကြီးဒီပွဲထဲမှာဆော့အားအရင် high ဖြစ်သွားမယ်ပြီးရင်ပို့ပြီးတော့လည်းကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့နိုင်ရုံစိတ်တွေပြင်းထန်လာဒီ South Asia မှာဆိုရင်တော့ Fnatic on တွေကိုကြိုက်ဆုံးဘာလို့လဲဆိုသူတို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကြိုက်လို့ ဒီအပြင်ဒီဘက် SCA အပြင်မှာဆိုရင်တော့ Cloud9 ကိုရွေးနေတာဘာလို့လဲ Cloud9 ကသူတို့ဘက်မှာဆိုရင်နာမည်ကြီးရတဲ့ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ရိုက်ချင်လို့ keep watching everybody
Something about Royal Milk, the teams that he said, it's not doing well. I like Fnatic Onyx, you know, and it's like, oh, I like Cloud9, I want to beat them. Well, he got what he wished for.
Yeah. I
Is
feel
he
like
a
a lot
seer?
of he might be able to tell the future.
Yeah. But the thing is,
Maybe he has a curse.
maybe. I'm just surprised with how many times Cloud9's name comes up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shows us that they're a team to watch out for. But then again, Falcon, they have already overcame that hurdle. Now they're just one win away from securing the knockout stage's berth. Well, 70%, I would say.
70% is good enough, don't you?
Yeah, that's
nice.
pretty.
70% is good.
Yep.
And you know, I think even with how things are going to kind of like fall into place here with Group D, if they get the sweep here, that's great for Falcon Esports because from that interview, you heard it right from Royal Milk that their preparations leading to this, they don't have as many, I would say, opportunities as other regions. They really do compete in these third-party tournaments. They use that as their practice, and then eventually when they get to chance to scrim and everything else, look what they bring to the table.
Yeah, now we're jumping straight into the pick and bans here. Falcon's going to be blue side, XYG is going to be red side, and again, the Luyi gets banned, but I'm kind of on the camp for Falcons, like, don't change it up. What has worked before, just keep using it. They used it from the Snapdragon Pro Series up until MSC, and until someone stops it, might as well just use the same thing. But what do you guys think?
I think that, yes, super duper agree with that, especially because we know that XYG might also do the same thing. This Yuzhong pick, although it is not the most optimal pick, especially because there's Florid, there's Faramis, or well, they did not see the Florid prior to the Yuzhong pick, but it's more of a comfort kind of pick. Like, it doesn't have an actual combo with the Fredrin. Imagine if they picked up somewhere along the lines of Lapu Lapu, for example, they will have the burst to go with the Moskov. But that tells me it's comfort pick. That's also is the same with Fredrin, although Fredrin works versus the Roger. This is Faramis plus Ruby, which Fredrin actually hates playing at. So what I'm trying to get at is XYG is playing around their comfort heroes, so FCON should also be playing on their comfort heroes.
Yeah, so honestly, nicely looking at this match here, Falcons, they're betting out the Moskov, so even though, yes, they won against it, but they're still respecting Long, having the highest damage and the highest goal in that game.
Yeah.
Interesting that they go that route. It makes me wonder if we're still possibly going to see a Florin come up. It was such a detrimental part of the lineup here that we saw utilize. Also, the Faramis is still open.
Yep.
So those are two heroes that could still play a big role in actually either of the teams that decided to go this rate.
Yep.
But because of the first pick is going to be up for grabs.
Harith maybe is...
I mean,
there it is.
Very natural, actually. And then you answered this typically with Roger, but Roger is available. Yeah, maybe XYG...
Roger Valen.
Roger Valen looks really good. Another hero is the Fredrin, which in this case now is a legitimate answer to the Harith, and XYG showed us that they're not gonna think twice about picking that hero up. Picking up both Rogers plus Fredrin is not that good because you can reveal a lot, so maybe Edith plus Fredrin, perhaps. There it is.
There it is. Wolf always on point. He's good.
I'm sure that his glasses has screens inside of it that he has like 5 seconds ahead or something.
I'll say that, you know, so far through the group stage, I don't know what Wolf's percentage is, but he's pretty on point. And
120%.
Thank you.
120%.
120.
Thank you. Like I said,
120%.
120. Wow.
Like meaning to say, the draft that he got wrong, he was right. He was just right too fast.
Yeah, that's right.
It's gonna be in a knockout stage, so he was drafted for that one.
I take that. I take that.
That's enough for
That's enough for me. Do you get the Ruby or the CC now? I think CC. Oh, Roger, obviously.
Roger Faramis.
Faramis still open.
Oh, this. I hope XYG picks up the Valentina because now they have access to the Faramis.
Netherrealm, yeah.
Netherrealm Fredrin is great, and it's great versus the Roger as well, right?
That's
because Roger hates playing against the Faramis.
I think part of the problem the last game was they locked in the Fredrin early.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
they didn't have to pick it up that last pick with the first phase. Oh, whoa! This is interesting.
I mean,
Whoa!
talk about early, right? Talk about early. Like
Man.
you wouldn't assume Bruno getting banned in the second ban phase.
Oh,
You don't expect
man.
it, right?
So now I'm guessing.
Oh man.
I'm still saying the same thing from the last game. I'm surprised with their last pick for the first
man.
phase. Same thing for this.
No,
This
no, no.
is-
No, I feel like because you said that, it's like, you know what? Hold my
What's the
coffee. No, hold my rock star.
Oh.
Let me
Oh
show
my Rockstar.
let
Oh
me
my
let
Pepsi.
Me, let me show you my third
Oh.
pick.
All right.
Oh man. This
I,
is,
I wonder how the casters are reacting. You know,
I am confusion.
you're
Yes.
You did say that's gonna be the theme for
The
today.
theme for today.
Today is gonna be confused wolf. But
Yeah.
let's jump back into the draft here.
Yeah.
Raz getting banned now. We have to consider that the Valentina should be banned here, right?
It has to be.
Yeah,
Has
it
to
has to be. It's great. Oh man, the XYG.
There it is.
Oh my goodness, this is absolutely a mistake. I would say this is a, you know, when you're playing chess and then there's a game review where it's like a blunder or something.
Yeah.
This is definitely a blunder from XYG because surely I understand why the Bruno will be picked up. And like I said, FCON might not even be thinking about the Bruno. The slot where the Bruno was picked.
I mean, who would you think? Carrie, Claude, Beatrix, Nathan.
There's 5 more marksmen that you'll think about before you get into the Bruno.
Before you get to the
you would consider Ruby before Bruno.
That's also true. Oh man.
Because especially against, I mean, the Harith.
Exactly. Like,
Especially against the Harith. Like
early
we're-
game, yeah, sure. Like first 2 minutes of the game. Level 1 is great for Bruno.
Yeah. But once the Zaman Force especially comes up,
Yeah.
how do you play against that?
And 2 minutes go by fast.
And the Faramis ult as well.
Freya banned again, but at least this
Oh
time
my
the CC
God.
got banned. Now here's the thing: Royal Milk. If he doesn't get a CC, he has one more hero, and that's the Yuzong.
Yuzhong. So that means that the XYG might be pressed to pick up the Yuzhong now, which then reveals the Edith. Oh my god, this is literally the same as last time. I would say just pick up Lapu Lapu. I think it's much better. Give up the Yuzhong. You're pretty much set for that. Maybe
Pick out your mage now or something.
yeah.
Maybe just go Vexana again. I don't
Vexana.
know. They don't have that many options when you look at this. Valentina was
Aurora?
Novaria
Aurora.
or Aurora's perfect versus
Yeah.
both Roger as well as the Aerith. That's great. I want to see Odette. I mean, if this is elimination game for you, just you pick up the Bruno anyways. What's another crazy pick, right? So
Yuzhong.
yeah, they indeed got pressed to pick up the Yuzhong.
Yep. All right, that's
Oh,
what we
man.
expected.
Oh man. Oh man.
The question is, what does Royal Milk pick up now? Because the type of guy that's the farming kind of hero. So we're looking at the Benedetta, the Paquito.
Yeah,
maybe-
Benedetta is great.
Maybe even the Lapu.
Paquito is also amazing. I think I'm thinking Grok actually for FCON, but at the same time, I love the Lolita. It's great versus the Bruno, decent versus the Edith. Ruby is also one of those heroes that Fredrin doesn't like to play against. How about going back to the oh yeah, there you go, the Minotaur and the Ruby.
Minotaur plus.
Dude,
This is difficult.
long team fights, right?
Long team fight still
Oh,
because
man.
there's still some healing
Oh man.
from the Minotaur.
Go Odette, pick up the Winter Crown. You're not that scared about the Mino and Fury as well as the Ruby. That's the only option here. Otherwise, you're pressed to go Vexana.
You're saying that because they need the damage?
Yes. They need tons of damage.
So it's not about crowd control here. It's not about, like lords.
No.
Come on.
You need a swan song.
You need a swan song because how much damage does Worldy do?
Not that much.
Not that much.
Not that much. no.
Yeah, actually, Benny Cutie just uses it for the stacks, actually.
Stacks, yep.
Oof.
It's a tough decision. What is it going to be?
Man. Novaria.
Novaria.
We did say that Novaria can be picked up.
It does have damage, but then you have to scale up. You need some items. You need a few other things for them to work out. So
Oh, man.
for the casters, letting you guys know the draft has finished, and I'm pretty sure you guys heard our analysts, their opinions on the draft. We're gonna throw it to you guys fast. Give you guys a little bit of time to digest, but what do you guys think about the draft? We're throwing it over to you.
I want to catch it real fast just as well. It's very rare that clearly, literally, An analyst says, yo, that might have been a blunder right there.
Hey man, if Lung hard carries this game 1v5, it's a blunder no longer. And I think that's what we're hoping to see here, whether he actually qualifies for that slot. Can he truly 1v5 against a double sustained composition that has a Farmus and a Minotaur? Good luck.
And this is indeed a debut Bruno pick in the group stage of MSC 2024. And there's a reason why they call him the international marksman. It's because he's one of the carries for his team. So if by any chance we don't have the comms, but we can only assume, hey coach, give me that Bruno, then this could be one of their only ways that they see they can take down Falcon.
I don't know. I like double insurance policies, right? I think that E1 could have gone for the Vixana if he wanted to. I would have much preferred the Farsa. Wow, he just ate that. He walked up and just ate that.
In astral form, too.
Oh, boy. That's interesting. Don't see that happen very often. But overall, I do agree with the analyst. I do think it might have been a little bit of a blunder, so I'm hoping that Lung really shows up here. And he's going for Master Assassin, so I'm glad that he's trying to win his lane.
Checking in again. Ooh, it's a good amount of CC from Kid X again. That's how you build Bruno, folks. If you want to try Bruno, if it works out, then you double down on it. Interesting to see that Falcon Esports still committing onto that Ruby. They really like the Ruby.
Yeah, they do quite like the Ruby. I mean, it's all about sustain, right? CC, Ruby generally does the same thing. You're looking for that pick in that backline. You're trying to clump them up as much as possible, and then you just, instead of like raw tanking it, you just have enough spell vamp to keep yourself alive. And I think that for now, Dax, I mean, not going to find that first blood just yet. It looks like the mid duo is really struggling here from XYG.
Up top, you do see these two gold laners taking their time. Not much of action just yet between Benny and Lung. KLVJ dueling against these two. And he does trigger the Shaw Essence there. Royal Milk gonna wail away. Get some gold from this tier 1 down bottom.
Really good read coming in from XYG. They respond to the potential dive here, and KLVJ honestly doesn't take too much damage. His team bails him out of that situation, and if they can find PX7 here, it'll be the most ideal just before he hits level 4.
You can feel the urgency of these mid laners. They want to go and get that level 4 sooner. Kel?
Huh? I mean, Kale's in a lot of trouble here. At this point, he's not going to have enough life to even use the Black Dragon form. And then the Flicker Force from Royal Milk into the Defender to find first blood. That's great, but he wants that level 4. But no Fury already comes out from the side of Kid X, and they've already found a god. Young Zed is going to be the next to fall. No like and pound reset from Dax, unfortunately.
Walks away with 1 HP and a dream. XYG facing the wrath of Falcon Esports. They didn't expect for them to be this aggressive, and now look, Dax attempting Grand Theft Purple. Can they get it? Does have a retribution.
Oh yeah, Petrify's already come out as well. KLVJ quickly into the Black Dragon form to get himself out of there. And this is why the double sustain is annoying, right? PX7 just bails them out when things get really tight.
That's it. Dax has 1 star now. He committed Grand Theft Purple, successfully got away with it too, with impunity. Same story still up top. Gold-wise, that is Falcon Esports up by, wow, a whopping 2,000 gold already. 2 kills, a turtle, and I wonder how much of that is on Benny.
Well, let's have a look here.
Wow, 500.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Trickle-down economy.
It is a trickle-down effect, right? And you can see that, like, every single motions on the map have costed them something. Even for PX7, he is quite significantly ahead against E1. He's 2 levels up on E1 right now, and all because a bad turtle fight, and more importantly, didn't hit level 4 on time by the EXP lane.
The EXP lane skirmish really benefited Falcon Esports, and I'm pretty sure that was to plan. That was on purpose. And now they're going to continue to pressure top lane this time around because this buys Falcon Esports more room to rotate. They can try and engage, and if anything, they can do it through fronts. Look, down bottom.
KLVJ is going to get hit by Lycan Pouch Shot, Residue procs, Petrify as well to make sure that Dax has no insurance policy to find the kill. Astro Echo, ooh, skill shot right direction, not enough range.
That was close. That was close. Maybe about an inch or 2 from death. Dax was going to be able to regenerate off these little minions, these creeps near the turtle, spawning in about 10 seconds now as Falcon Esports alights from that top lane pressure. They're going to go ahead and go for this turtle now.
I'm curious. I would like to check in with Lung here. How is he doing in his lane? Because he's been left on an island for quite some time, and it looks like he, I mean, previously he was leveled down on Benny, but that's because the wave was pushing in. But let's look at the turtle for now. Black Dragon form already out for KLVJ, but no Infuriate follow it up, and it looks like, nah, Dax is going to be able to get the retribution, no problem, with Zed as a consolation prize. It's pretty impossible for XYG to walk in like that, right? I mean, with the Mignola Fury alone is a big issue.
Well, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Well, shame on me still. I think the other one goes the other way. I think shame on you. But yeah, no, I think this should be the last straw for XYG. Maybe don't face him up front. The kill's gonna go down here. Unless...
Oh! What? Ah, he walked out of it! He walked out of range and ended up dying!
I'll count that as an outplay. The king does it. I'll count it as an outplay. That was a 3v1. There was no reason for him to do that. Let's watch it again.
Look at Dax, just look at Dax. You can see the range of PX7's Netherrealm, right? And Dax just so happens to walk out of it and gets tapped by the shot.
It was the Shah, and right out of range too. Shah has larger range than Netherrealm.
Oh, it's so
Can't confirm
funny.
now, that's mechanics.
Dude, that's so funny. Oh, man. I mean, Dax is probably like, it's not the biggest deal in the world. A little sad, of course.
Yeah.
But let's look at the item builds, because right now, I think that, oh, man, Zed, he is greedy. A brute force breastplate, first item to be able to not only run away from his opponents, but if XYG can turn things around, he's going to be running at his opponents.
It's tough because, again, Falcon Esports has multiple damage sources, very different in nature, too. There's physical, there's magic, and by getting brute force, I guess that's the most economic way of him getting both. It's hybrid, and again, less CC. So you're looking at less from the Minoan Fury, less from the pull, less from the hook from Royal Milk. So I get it, I understand, but it is a little greedy, I do agree. Now in mid, Royal Milk, dancing around 2.
Their comp is so unkillable. I mean, just look at how minimal damage they're doing to him. And like, even if he does take the damage, he just walks down to the bot side of the map, heals back up to full, comes back to the neutral, and it's just like, I don't need a recall ever.
I'm good. Let's go. Turtle here started up by Dax. KLVJ watching from the bush. River control in.
Oh, what? And then Zed gets pulled in. What's going on now? The interception from Falcon Esports. XYG just let it happen. They just turned a blind eye to it.
Less of an intersection. I think Zed was just going the wrong way. Zed was just walking in, assuming he wouldn't get punished.
I mean, he flickered out of there. I think they didn't read the situation right. That's the only way that we can explain this.
You can almost see it in Zed's face. Like, how could I have let that happen? How could I have walked into Falcon Esports crosshairs like that?
Oh, that's such a feels bad for XYG. And I mean, now with the lead and momentum that Falcon Esports has, you can definitely tell from where they come from, their region, they get real aggressive when they have that lead.
And now they're the ones facing this kind of aggression. Again, folks, as a recap, in the finals of the China qualifiers, XYG swept their opponents. XYG swept KBG. So this here, this is the other side of the coin for them. Now Royal Milk, 3v1.
Oh, Royal Milk, saved by PX7. Oh, Royal Milk, he almost made the mistake. Nearly walking out of it before the projectile connected. Again, this is the beauty of the double sustain comp coming in from Falcon Esports. They love doing this, right? They love having the Netherrealm. They love having motivational roar. It could be switched out for Florence, do. It doesn't really matter as long as you sustain.
And even without those supports, all of them have some level of sustain. Benny with the shields, Dax with the lifesteal, Royal Milk with the ungodly amount of lifesteal and spell vamp as well. 5-1, 6K gold lead ahead for Falcon Esports. XYG is gonna struggle to keep this turret.
I mean, they can fight if they want to, but they find the I'm offended flicker backwards, and it's too late. The Minoan Fury stops any aggression from XYG, and even KLVJ, he hunkered around for a little too long, and the Netherrealm is going to keep everybody alive. How many chain kills can you get? And it looks like XYG admit, okay, we're only giving you 2. We can't give you any more, man.
Uncle, I call Uncle, and they back off. They're eventually gonna get the orange and that turret up top that they started. Odd how mid lane tier 1 hasn't been touched. Look, now just eventually they'll push.
I don't know. I don't know what to feel about this game. I feel like XYG aren't playing that well this time around in game number 2. I think they did much better in game number 1.
Something in game number 1 broke them.
I think
something must have snapped. Something changed because now XYG, they've been playing on the back foot since minute one. There were small outplays, small little mechanical, double two steps here, but Falcon Esports have been calling the shots. They've been setting the tempo and the pace, and XYG aren't ready to dance.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, let's look at the items first before we continue the subject, right? Because now we finally see fully completed boots from Lung. He was greeting out with the Haas Claw into the Berserker's Fury, and I think he's going to go into the Malefic Roar as his third, but it's kind of late now that Benny has the Holy Crystal, so he still can't win that 1v1 if given the chance.
Yep, and the Radiant Armor and God Yang and Zed, sure, it'll help you from PX7 and Benny, but what about Dax and Royal Milk? Now that Dax is the endless battle too, you're playing with true damage.
It's a little tough here, but let's see whether an inhibitor falls, right? They've got synchronized waves. They're all pushing at the same time. It's really stretching out XYG and E1. He's so low. Look, he's already down 50%. Here comes the Black Dragon form because KLVJ needs to force them away to protect these inhibitors. They don't want checkmate angle this early on into the game, but Falcons one last wave up on that top side and maybe cracks it open. Yes, gets it open just in time, and now they back away. Checkmate angle set up.
All according to plan. About 2 minutes until another Lord comes through with a contest from XYG far from the horizon. They can't even think of defending here because they have to watch out. You can engage.
I mean, God, yeah, he tries to get on out of there with the Primal Wrap, ends up getting punished too with the I'm Offended, and that's going to be GG. Well played as FCON 1 has just landed. The crystal going to get cracked open after Dax gets the Maniac. Falcon Esports does it again.
Both teams tried to draft as close a lineup as they did in game one. And eventually, it's Falcon's aggression, what we were expecting from the early moments of game one that won them through. This is the Falcon we know.
I mean, you guys